Hello everyone, I'm Stella from Stella's Yarn Universe. Welcome to part 5 of my triangle shawl crochet tutorial. If this is the first part you've come across, I'll link to part 1 in the upper right corner, so you can click there to see the first part so you can get started with your triangle shawl. I'll also link to all the different parts that I posted so far in the description box below, and I also link to the timestamps of each row for those of you who prefer to crochet for yourselves and like to skip ahead, but for those of you who like to crochet along with me, you can just go ahead and watch the full video. So without further ado, let's get started with part 5. So now I'm showing you how to continue with this section. So from the top it looks like this. That's where the last video finished. And now we continue. With 3 chains. And then we make treble crochet stitches in all stitches all the way to the 3rd stitch before the 2 chain space. So to this point we just make 1 treble crochet stitch in each stitch. Now we're here, so we have 2 stitches before the first 2 chain space. So here we stop making treble crochet stitches, and now we chain 2, and then we make a double crochet in the first 2 chain space. Like this, and then we chain 3 and we make another double crochet in the next 2 chain space. So 2 small double crochet in there. Now we chain 2 again, and now we treble crochet again, so we make a yarn over. And we skip the first 2 stitches and treble crochet in the 3rd. And now we repeat these steps. So we treble crochet 1, 2, 3, 4. So now we again have the 2 treble crochet stitches before the first 2 chain space, and we chain 2 again, and then we make a little double crochet in the first 2 chain space, then we chain 3, and then we make another small double crochet in the next 2 chain space like this, and then we chain 2 again, and now we treble crochet. So we skip the first 2 stitches and treble crochet in the 3rd stitch. Here we make 4 treble crochet stitches. And then we just repeat this pattern with all the 2 chain spaces all the way to the center. So now I finished with the last 2 chain space pattern on this side, and now we'll just make treble crochet stitches all the way to the center. So just 1 treble crochet in each. One more in here. Now in the 2 chain center space, we treble crochet 1, chain 2, and treble crochet 1 more, like this. And now on the other side, we just repeat the same pattern. Just make treble crochet stitches until you reach the 3rd stitch before the first 2 chain space, and then repeat the same thing we did on this side. Now I'm at the last stitch, so in here we make 2 treble crochet stitches. That's it. So now we can flip it around to flip it over to start the next row. And in this row, again, we start with 3 chains. Now we treble crochet 1 in each stitch, all the way to the first 2 chain space. So now I made a treble crochet in the last treble crochet stitch before the 2 chain space, and in the 2 chain space I make 2 treble crochet now. So just in the large space there. And now I chain 2, and in this 3 chain space we make 1 double crochet. So just a small double crochet in there, then we chain 2, and we make 2 treble crochet in the next 2 chain space. So that's how it looks now. Now we just treble crochet one in each of these 4 stitches. And again we treble crochet 2 in the 2 chain space, then we chain 2. Now we make 1 double crochet in the 3 chain space, then we chain 2 again, and now we make 2 treble crochet in the next 2 chain space. And then just treble crochet stitches in each stitch, and so on. So we just repeat this pattern all the way to the center. I'm here at the center. As you can see, after the last 2 chain space, I just made 1 treble crochet in each stitch as we did before, and now in the 2 chain center space we make 1 treble crochet, 2 chains, and 1 treble crochet as usual, and then we just repeat this pattern on the other side. And here at the end of the row we make 2 treble crochet again in the last stitch, and then the next row we start again with 3 chains, and 1 treble crochet in each stitch, there we go. So here in the 2 chain space we make 2 treble crochet, 1 and 2, so that's how it looks now, and then we chain 1 and make 2 treble crochet in the next 2 chain space, 1 and 2. 2. So that's how it looks now, and then we just treble crochet in the next stitch and repeat this. So just 1 treble crochet in each stitch, and then 2 treble crochet in the next 2 chain space, one chain and 2 treble crochet in the next 2 chain space, and again 1 treble crochet in each stitch. So here we are again. So now 2 treble crochet in the 2 chain space, one chain and 2 treble crochet in the next 2 chain space. And just 1 treble crochet in each stitch. Now I'm at the 2 chain center space, and in here we make a treble crochet as usual, and then we chain 2 and make another treble crochet. And now on the other side we just repeat what we did before. So just 1 treble crochet in each stitch, now I'm at the next 2 chain space, and in here again we treble crochet 2, then we chain 1, and in the next 2 chain space we treble crochet 2 again. And then it's just 1 treble crochet in each stitch. And as usual with the treble crochet rows, we make 2 treble crochet in the last stitch. So 1 and another 1. So now we can flip it over to start the next row, and the next row is super easy because we just start with 3 chains, and just as here we make 1 simple row of treble crochet stitches, but this time we do it in the whole stitch. So just like that, 1 treble crochet in each stitch, and then when you reach the 1 chain space in there, you just make 1 treble crochet. And the next treble crochet goes in the next stitch. So this way we work our way all the way to the 2 chain center space. And here in the 2 chain center space, again we do 1 treble crochet, 2 chains and 1 treble crochet. and then again 1 treble crochet in each stitch and 1 treble crochet in each 1 chain space. Oops. Now we're at the end of this row, and again we make 2 treble crochet in the last stitch, which is the 3rd chain here. One and 2. So now this section is complete. So we can start with another bubble section again. So I'll change color to orange again. You can do the same if you like. And this row will be simple double crochet stitches as we did here. So I'll just put a loop through in the new color. Oops. Hold on to the yarn ends for the first few stitches. Chain 1 and then 1 double crochet in each stitch. So this is a very easy row. Just 1 double crochet in each, and then in the 2 chain center space we'll make 1 double crochet, 2 chains and 1 double crochet. Now in the center we make 1 double crochet, 2 chains and 1 double crochet in the same space, and then all we do is just 1 double crochet in each stitch all the way up to the other corner. The row is complete now, and in the end I just made 1 double crochet because in the double crochet rows we don't increase. And now it's time to mark our stitches for the next row of bubbles. So last time we had 11 stitches in between bubbles, and this time the distance is going to be a bit wider probably. So what I want to do again is place the bubbles in more or less in between these patterns. So I'll just count the stitches that are in between these 2 gaps here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So in between the 6th and 7th stitch right here, I just go up, and this stitch is more or less in the center between them. So I'm going to place my stitch markers again now. Just try it out to see if this is centered or not. I think that looks like a good placement, and then I do the same with the next pattern here. So in between these there are 12 treble crochet stitches in between these 2 1 chain spaces. So I count to 6 again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in between these 2 I just go up. This is this is crocheted out of this stitch obviously, but the placement is almost in between the two, so I'm going for this stitch and then place my stitch marker in the last row that we made, just above the stitch that's more or less in between the 6th and 7th stitch between these two. And if that looks like it's more or less the center between these two, then I'm going to count how many stitches there are in between these two stitch markers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So this time we'll probably have 12 stitches in between bubbles. So I count to 13 from this stitch marker towards the edge here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And then in the 13th goes the next stitch marker. Okay, now let's see if I can fit another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's very close to the edge, so I won't put another bubble in there. But you can if you like to, and maybe for you the pattern works out differently. So now I'll just repeat this all the way until I have all my stitch markers placed on one side, so that I can just double check if they're really in the place that I would like them to be, and so that I can make changes if necessary. All my stitch markers placed now on this side. So here I have quite a big space, as I said before, because there are 14 stitches and I don't want to bubble so close to the edge. And then I'm quite happy with the placement with all the stitch markers, so I leave them like this. And here I have exactly 13 stitches between the last stitch marker and the 2 chain center space, so I won't put a bubble right there next to the 2 chain center space, so I'll leave it at that. So I have 7 bubbles on this side now, and now I'll just start crocheting, because once we know how this side looks, we can just mirror this on the other side. So to start the row, we begin with 3 chains, and in this row, like we did before, we only crochet in the back loop. So now we make treble crochet stitches, so we yarn over and insert our hook in the back loop, and just make 1 treble crochet stitch in the back loop of each stitch. So now I'm at the stitch marker, and this is where our first bubble goes, and we crochet that bubble again only in the back loop. So I made a yarn over, pick up the yarn, pull it through, so that I have 3 loops on my hook. Then I pick up the yarn and pull it through the first 2 loops. Now we have 2 loops. Yarn over, insert in the back loop, pick up the yarn, pull it through. We have 4 loops, pick up the yarn, pull it through the first 2, and we have 3 loops. Then yarn over, go through the back loop, pick up the yarn, pull it through. Now we have 5 loops, pick up the yarn, pull it through the first 2 loops, and we have 4 loops. Pick up the yarn, go through the back loop, yarn over I meant. Now we pick up the yarn, so we have 6 loops, pick up the yarn, pull it through the first 2 loops. Now we have 5 loops, and once more yarn over, go through the back loop, pick up the yarn, pull it through. We have 7 loops now, and we pick up the yarn and pull it only through the first 2. So that we have 6 loops now, and we pick up the yarn and pull it through all 6 loops. And now we just make a little slip stitch to secure them. By the way, this is not, I think this is not the regular bubble stitch. That's just what I use for this pattern. Usually you wouldn't make this security slip stitch there because that causes an increase that maybe other patterns don't need. So now we just continue with the treble crochet stitches, just 1 in each until a stitch marker comes, and that's where we place another bubble all the way to the center of our shawl. Now in the 2 chain center space I make my treble crochet, 2 chains and another treble crochet, and now because we want to mirror what we did on this side, on the other side we just need to count how many stitches we have behind the last bubble, not counting this one here that we made in the 2 chain center space. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's what I was thinking. So however many you have, that's the amount of stitches you crochet now. So including this one I have 14, but since I made it already here I didn't count it, so I'll make 13 treble crochet stitches. Oops. Only in the back loops. And then I'll make my first bubble. And from that first bubble, I will make another bubble in every 13th stitch, the same way we did on the other side. Now I'm at the last stitch here, so I'll make 2 treble crochet stitches in the back loop of the last stitch, and that's our row complete. So now we can flip it over, and in the next row we make double crochet stitches again, so we only need 1 chain, and we want the back loops to show, so we only crochet in the front loops. So just 1 double crochet in the front loop of each stitch. Now in the 2 chain center space we just make 1 double crochet, 2 chains and another double crochet, and now we go up the other side. So just in the front loops, one double crochet in each front loop. Now I'm at the last stitch of the row, and in here I'll just make 1 double crochet stitch, actually the last stitch, because the previous row were treble crochet stitches. The last stitch is this third chain here, and in there I make a double crochet, and that's the row complete. I just had to join a new ball of yarn here. So that's our bubble section complete, and the next section will again be the fan section. Thank you so much for crocheting along with me. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to leave me a comment below, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. The next part will be published on Thursday again. So until then, happy crocheting. Bye.